the man who just put pen to paper on his 4-year contract extension, Khalil Shakir, joining us here in studio. Congrats, man. Super happy for you. I guess maybe first of all, when did you kind of get wind that things were moving in the right direction and it was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, probably a few weeks ago was when, like, I first heard about, just the communication between my agents and, the front office. And it's just, I started playing football when I was 7 years old, So, like, and then as you go on, you see, social media and you pick your favorite players growing up and see them get extensions and stuff like that. And then, like, now I was involved in those talks, and then just to kind of see it all come together. Before it was announced the night before is when it was like, all right, cool, got the final call. And it's just been like a crazy feeling since. Like, I don't really know how to feel. Obviously super excited and stuff like that, but it feels surreal.
Does it, and I get it too, because does it feel, how do you feel about now? I mean, it really is more than anything else a stamp of validation for from the time you're 7 years old, right? I mean, it's like, wow, you did some stuff right.
Yeah.
How do you feel now going forward? I mean, you're with the MVP. He's still throwing you the football. You're a large part of his success.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel going forward as a Bill, as this, the town, the franchise, the team, your spot on it?
Yeah, it's a dope feeling, man. I playing with 17 is special. I mean, the dude does some crazy things every single game, and he called me when when the news went out, and I was just told him, I was just like, he's truly and honestly the best athlete I've ever been around, and to have the opportunity to continue to play with him, it's special, man.
Yeah.
I know you spent some time last offseason with a former Bill and Eric Moulds. I'm sure he already texted you a few times, if not spoke to you on the phone. If he did, what was that conversation like, and how much credit was Eric taking for what transpired here between last season on the field and now the extension?
Yeah. It's crazy. We actually really don't text much.
Okay.
Like, we see each other in the off season, and we work together, and after that, it's like he'll shoot me a text every now and then. Just little comments. I keep going, and chip on your shoulder, and I hadn't heard from him till I seen him, and then I walked in, and of course, a big hug, and it was a congrats. Then it was right away, all right, let's get to work.
What element of your game do you feel he helped you advance the most playing in 2024?
Yeah, we talked about, the offseason before, we talked about just the yards after contact and, the yards after catch.
Yep.
That was a big point of emphasis, before the season. That's the very first thing. He was like, what do you want to work on? And, I always make the comment where it's like it's easy, to run a 5-yard route and catch the ball, but what you do after that is super special.
Yeah.
And we kind of just dove a little deeper into that conversation, and that's what we focus on. So whether it was, the lifting, the drills on the field, everything had a point of emphasis around, being special once you catch the ball and after that.
Yeah.
So I got to toot my own horn here. Before this last year, when you were the only guy who had caught a pass from Josh in a game, right? So you're starting with
at the receiver
all these
position.
new guys, and we had these hot take moments. And I said this team would lead the league in scoring, right?
Yep.
Well, you set a franchise
After
record
playoffs, yeah.
after the regular season playoffs are all gone. Nobody scored more points in this offense. Get this everybody eats mantra. Really, it worked.
Yeah.
And a large measure of it is because you all bought in.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can, have these sayings and, try and come up with things, right? But to actually, go out there and do it and for everybody to buy in, it's a process. And I think everybody, we took it all upon ourselves to, hold each other accountable and, to put in the work, before, during, after practice, in the film room and, studying, defenses and stuff like that. Like all that stuff goes into play to, be in that spot. And it's everybody truly buying in. Nobody was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So you just have a group of guys, a team of guys who are just super unselfish and wanted to play and win for each other.
I saw Josh retweet the Bills social post about your extension with a big heart next to it. Have you heard from, your QB?
Yeah, he called me not too long, actually pretty quickly after it got announced. And it's just a dope conversation. My brain was pretty scrambled. Like it was like I was kind of all over the place, and I even doubled down on the thank you to him after the phone call and just sent him a little text just saying just how thankful I am to play with him and that he's my quarterback, and just told him like it, and I mean it, like my success is from him, and I truly mean that, him trusting me, throwing me the ball. like I said before, he's one of a kind, and to be able to continue to play with him is special.
So you got this now. You're obviously established. How has your, you got your support staff here. Congratulations to all of you too. But now you're kind of, and we've said it takes a year or two to get established because you need an off-season routine so you can train without thinking about other things. And now you got your contract, so you got other, a few other things taken care of. Now your off-season. Give us an idea of your off-season. What's your schedule like? Do you get together with Josh or a guy you throw with in South Carolina or whatever it is? How's your off-season kind of taking shape these days?
Yeah, we usually get together as a receiving group or as a skill group in general with the running backs, tight ends. After OTAs, we'll take a weekend or so. Sometimes it's longer than that to just go we'll pick somewhere and go and just hang out for the weekend. Bond and also get some work in and spend a few hours on the field. But yeah, off season nowadays is just in South Carolina training with Moulds. I'm training with I have two different trainers training with Rowe over there. So. It's been fun. It's been fun. I think ever since the news, both my trainers have just both been like, hey, congrats, but let's get to work,
Yeah.
So, and that's what I love, and that's why I'm working with them is, it's all cool, but I think there's a lot more to accomplish out there.
Right.
You obviously had some say as these talks kind of got streamlined and we were both pointing in one direction. That's not the case for the rest of the roster for you, but those are teammates that you love and care about, and you know that every NFL roster has change and turnover, but how does it play on your mind when you have teammates that you love and respect and maybe their contract's up or they have to restructure something and you don't know how that's going to go? I'm always curious because especially this locker room, which is so tight-knit, how does that weigh on you? Your stuff's taken care of. You don't have to worry about that anymore, but what about other guys, and how does that play on your mind through the course of the offseason when you're wondering, well, who's going to be here? Who's going to get done? And that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think obviously, like you said, there's a lot of changes after every single year, and this team, definitely out of since I've been with the Bills, this is probably the closest we've ever been. I mean, you just had a group of guys, like I said earlier, who just truly cared about the person in the right and their left. We all truly cared for each other and wanted our play to be as best as we could for one another. So I try not to think too much about all that. I know no matter what we're guys stay in touch, but also Bean doing his thing. Obviously we know how great of a leader he is, and appreciate him as well. So there's a lot of things that I don't control or nobody controls. You just kind of let it all play out.
Yeah. Last one for me. Tough end of the season. As always, 31 other teams. You kind of same thing. What was the message? What did you guys, your parting words to each other? You come back in the locker room, and then here the next day, you got, it's tough because you say goodbye to that team, and now next year you're going to have different guys. Some guys will be gone. It's a different team coming back.
Yeah.
What was the last few days of this season? You come back and your locker clean out and the exit interviews. Give us an idea of what the message was for all you guys.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot of stuff that none of us really control. I think in that moment, we just were super appreciative of each other and the journey and the season that we had went through. And, we weren't supposed to be where we at is what we were hearing, So
that's right.
It was more just a lot of, thank yous, love yous, and we'll kind of just see how everything plays out, So I think, again, it was just a lot of guys just being appreciative for one another throughout the season and everybody truly supporting each other for, what's to come.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations once again, Khalil. We couldn't be happier for you. Glad it got done so you can just focus on the work at hand. We know you'll get back at it real quick with Eric. Make sure you say hi to him for us.
Yeah,
we'll do.
We don't see him as much as you do,
We'll
so
do.
make sure you say hi to him. We'll see you back here. I know you'll be ready to roll in April.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all for having me.
All right, that's Khalil Shakir joining us here on One Bills Live, fresh off signing his contract extension.